Welcome to this explainer. Today we are tackling a massive, exhausting assumption that, honestly, most of us carry around every single day without even realizing it. We're looking at a fascinating piece of source material titled Beyond the Burden of Difficulty, and we're going to completely unpack that whole hustle culture mindset. You know the one? The idea that if a task is difficult, it's automatically super valuable. But as you'll see, that assumption might actually be doing us way more harm than good.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with a really fundamental question. Does hard actually always mean good? I mean, think about it for a second. We are so conditioned from childhood to believe that if we aren't sweating, stressing out, or sacrificing, well, we just aren't making progress. It's like we look at this incredibly steep, treacherous mountain and just assume, oh, the view from the top of that one absolutely must be the best, simply because the climb was so awful. But what if we've had that backward this entire time?
The source material lays it out absolutely perfectly right here. Just because it is hard to do does not mean that they are good for you. That one simple idea completely shatters the illusion that difficulty is some strict prerequisite for satisfaction. You see, we constantly conflate the effort we put into something with the actual reward we get out of it. But actually, scratch that. The truth is, not everything that requires immense struggle is going to bring you happiness once you finally cross the finish line.
So, let's get into Section 1, the myth of difficulty, where we'll unpack the whole illusion of hard work.
The big takeaway here is that blindly chasing goals simply because they're hard often leads to a profound lack of fulfillment, or as the source calls it, a potential for misery. Imagine this. You spend years climbing a ladder, taking on every grueling, terrible task just to prove your grit, only to finally reach the very top and realize the ladder is leaning against the completely wrong wall. If the only merit a goal had was its sheer difficulty, you're literally just left with exhaustion and emptiness. Nobody wants that.
Moving right along to Section 2, the relativity of hard work, and exactly why difficulty is just a fundamentally poor metric to use.
Here's the thing about hard work. It's actually completely subjective. What is a massive sweat-inducing challenge for person A might be an absolute breeze for person B. Think about organizing a massive, complex spreadsheet. For some people, that's a literal nightmare, right? But for others, it's a relaxing Tuesday afternoon. If a task's true value was based entirely on how hard it is to do, that value would wildly fluctuate depending on who's actually doing it. So difficulty is just an incredibly unreliable measuring stick for worth.
Which brings us to Section 3, the danger of the destination, and what happens when we completely ignore the journey.
When we overly emphasize difficulty, it totally distracts us from the actual value of the goal itself. Obsessing over how hard something is gives us this intense tunnel vision on the pain, the late nights, the sacrifice. We honestly end up forgetting why we even started in the first place. We stop asking ourselves, hey, is this actually meaningful? And we only ask, am I working hard enough? It's a really dangerous mindset because it sacrifices the entire process for a totally grueling destination. Instead, we really need to look at intrinsic value. Things like meaningful relationships, personal growth, and simple pleasures. The source reminds us of something so crucial here. The most genuinely valuable things in life often require zero grueling struggle. Seriously, a quiet morning coffee with a friend, or simply realizing you've grown more patient over the last year. Those things hold immense worth, but they aren't inherently difficult to attain. Worshipping difficulty causes us to completely overlook the profound value that's literally sitting right in front of us.
Now for Part 4. Redefining your success. Time to find a new compass for joy and meaning.
So, you might be wondering, how do we actually fix this? Well, the source outlines 3 very clear steps to rebuild our understanding of success from the ground up. Define your values, set meaningful goals, and embrace the journey. Now, this isn't just about feeling better. It is a strategic, fundamental restructuring of how you spend your time and your energy.
And here's how that actually looks in practice. First, you've got to determine what truly matters to you, like completely removing the whole difficulty factor from the equation. Just toss it out. Second, aim your energy at goals that align with those core values and actually spark some joy. And third, find fulfillment in the process of growth itself. It's really all about learning to love the daily practice, rather than just agonizing over getting the trophy at the end of the season.
Ultimately, the journey toward a goal can be far more important than the destination itself. By finally decoupling value from difficulty, you free yourself up to actually enjoy the process. Your pursuit of fulfillment has to be guided by meaning. And that really reinforces the fact that the daily journey and the person you are becoming while you're moving forward is where the real, lasting value actually lives.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought.
I want you to ask yourself honestly right now, are your current goals bringing you meaning, or are they just bringing you difficulty? It is entirely possible to redefine your path today and to leave behind that exhausting illusion that pain is the only currency the universe accepts for happiness. Thank you so much for joining me, and I challenge you to start optimizing your life for meaning rather than just hard work.